Well, good afternoon and welcome to this final day of our Golden Triangle of India tour, where, of course, all week we've been showing you what you can expect to see and experience on your Golden Triangle tour of India with Low Season Traveller and our partners at Sita and Taj Hotels. On that note, in today's episode, we're going to be learning all about the amazing Taj Hotels, which we'll be using throughout this bucket list tour as we speak to the delightful Minaxi Mistry from Taj Hotels, who's going to be coming on the show just a little bit later. But first, we just want to let you know that you can book this tour now on the Low Season Traveller website in full confidence with our partners at Sita India due to their COVID guarantee. What that means is that if you book the tour and you pay your deposit, should anything like COVID prevent you from traveling, then it is guaranteed and you'd be able to have a full refund. But as we travel during the quieter low season months, just to let you know that we can also offer you savings of up to £1,600 per person versus the regular peak season prices. And of course, we can offer some amazing add-ons, as you heard yesterday, hopefully, from Tejashri. And if you didn't catch that episode, please do check it out on Facebook. Please do visit our Highlights of India tour page on lowseasontraveller.com for more details of the prices, the savings, and of course a full rundown of the itinerary. It's on the site. When you get on the site, if you scroll down, this top row of tiles here are all dedicated to India and the tour. It's got the hotels that we're staying in that we'll be talking about today, of course. And then if you click across, you'll see the orange Best of India tour page there, which you can have a look at your leisure, and that then shows how you can book and make an inquiry for that tour. Also, just wanted to let you know that, as you may know or you may not, we at Low Season Traveller, we try to ensure that we leave a positive legacy behind as we travel. And last year we helped a number of projects, including the Antigua National Sailing Academy, which provides swimming and sailing lessons for children from disadvantaged backgrounds. So as part of this drive, this year we're working alongside our partners at the Born Free Tiger Conservation Project. We're helping to conserve some of the largest remaining tiger populations and habitats, easy for me to say, on Earth. So operating under some of the toughest conditions, these programs find solutions to human-wildlife conflict and highlight the benefits of genuine coexistence. The projects improve livelihoods, maintain habitats, and of course protect wild tigers. So in order to support that, for every booking made with us on this tour, we as Low Season Traveller will donate £100 towards the Born Free Tiger Conservation Project, so that your travel to India will leave a lasting legacy behind for its most endangered inhabitants. In this way, your bucket list travel experience post-COVID will not only benefit communities during the traditionally quieter low season months, but it'll also help ensure that the tiger population in India can be protected and hopefully thrive for future generations. Now, before we bring Minaxi onto the stage, let's just take a quick recap of where we've been so far this week on our tour. So, Minaxi, a very much a huge welcome to you, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this afternoon for this final live talk and to tell us all about your fabulous hotels. How are you doing today, first of all?
Very well, thank you, Jed. Thank you. Very well.
Good. Well, it's great to have you here, Minaxi. And I guess just for everybody at home there, we've spoken to Minaxi now a few times this week, and Minaxi obviously is very, very passionate about her hotels, Taj Hotels, and as I mentioned just before, from a personal point of view, absolutely love the Taj properties, and they're very, very special, and they're the iconic Indian hotel brand, aren't they? Really, Minaxi.
Absolutely, thank you. Yes.
So tell us a little bit, first of all, of a sort of a background for anybody that isn't familiar with Taj Hotels and the group and the hotels themselves. Just give us a little bit of a background about Taj Hotels, Minaxi.
Sure. So Taj Hotels, we're a chain of luxury hotels. We're an iconic hospitality brand and voted recently as India's strongest brand, which was great for us. We've got a legacy of over 116 years, so I think that really counts for a lot compared to other chains. So the brand itself consists of authentic original palaces. It consists of landmark hotels, idyllic resorts, and natural safari lodges. So that's what actually the brand consists of. And at Taj, we're all about creating unique experiences and offering lifelong memories. So it's not just about a holiday anywhere. It's about creating amazing memories and experiences.
Absolutely, and I sort of mentioned this in earlier on in the week when we were talking about some of the hotels. I was mentioning this to Anil. I've had the good fortune of staying in the Taj properties a number of times actually over the years, and I mentioned this to you before when we were off air, Minaxi, but the attention to detail in the hotels and the levels of service are just above and beyond. And I'll just share with our viewers that experience that I was telling you about before, Minaxi, about how I was staying in one of the Taj properties in Delhi. And when I go there, the last time I was there, I hadn't been there for about 4 years. And I was greeted by practically all of the staff by name. Mr. Brown, so great to see you again, which I couldn't believe after 4 years that they'd remembered me from being there a couple of times before. But also, it's these little touches. So the guys who look after the elevators, as soon as I'm walking towards the elevators, they've already put their hand around the corner and they've pressed the button for the floor that I'm staying on because they remember the floor that I'm staying on. Those kind of touches, they just absolutely blew me away. And I think that's the service levels that you expect at all the Taj properties, Minaxi. Is that right?
That's right. So it's consistent throughout all of our hotels. I mean, that is the kind of training that the staff get in order to provide the best possible service. They do make a huge effort to actually get to know the guests that are staying with us. Every guest for us is, we refer to every guest as God. So basically, they'll go over and above for any of the guests and just to make their experience that much better. And I think that like the little things, like you said, they go a long way. And that's what people remember. It's not the standard stuff. It's the little things, by calling you by your name, recognizing that you've come back to the hotel. And just the small things, that they might know something about you, or they remembered that you like this particular drink. And it's all about those little touches, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another example which I'll just sort of share as well before we start. There's in this particular property which I've stayed in a few times in Delhi, which is it's the Taj Mahal hotel in Delhi. It used to be called the Taj Mansingh on Mansingh Road. But there's a restaurant that does Chinese food there, and I've been there maybe twice or three times, but on the last time that I was there, they brought me over a pair of chopsticks with my name on as well. I was just absolutely wowed by this. But that level of detail, every time I've been to that hotel, I've been sort of maybe 5 or 6 times in my life, but you feel like, I know it sounds cheesy, but I feel like I'm coming home. I genuinely do. And I keep saying to my wife, I'd just love I'd love to bring you to Delhi and to sort of see India anyway, but I'd love to bring you to that property so you can experience that level of service, because I'm very well traveled, but I'd never had anything to that degree before, which
I just think we like to go that one step further. I mean, you can do 5-star anywhere, but these are the little touches of a 5-star hotel that actually really go with them going the extra mile. I think that really kind of, you just feel like you've really been to a good 5-star hotel, and it would make you want to go back.
Oh, 100%, 100%, and I really do already. So let's get on with the tour. So obviously, all week we've we've been doing the Golden Triangle tour, and we hadn't really touched. So for this particular tour that we're featuring on Low Season Traveller, during the low season, we are delighted that we can work with Taj Hotels as well as, of course, Sita. And what we wanted to do for this tour is have it, because it's a bucket list tour. We wanted to have the very best in terms of the accommodation as well, because it makes such a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And with Taj being the iconic Indian brand, we were really keen to make sure that all of the properties were Taj properties, so that everybody can have that Taj sort of feeling. So I thought that today, obviously, the purpose is that we can talk through a little bit more about these fabulous properties. Starting off, if I can get my screen working, Minaxi, there we go, with, of course, the Taj Palace, Delhi. Now, this is the one that I actually haven't stayed in. So tell us a little bit about this property, Minaxi.
So we've got a number of hotels in Delhi, and this one, the Taj Palace, is our kind of more modern, more cosmopolitan property, as opposed to, let's say, the Taj Mahal in Delhi, which is, your favorite, which is a little bit more kind of oldly worldly. This one is a stunning property on a good run from the airport, a good sort of 20 to 25 minutes. So it makes a really good start or end a city hotel to an itinerary of the Golden Triangle.
Yeah.
But the hotel itself, again, recently refurbished, looking absolutely beautiful. But it's got a real kind of beautiful wow factor as you walk in. So, you do feel like you've come to this beautiful 5-star hotel. I mean, you can see that the lawns are very green. You've got a few of the restaurants on the bottom floor there, together with a fabulous bar. But lots of space in the hotel, and very, very green, like I mentioned.
I love that. All of the sort of the feels for a lot of these properties. It's inside. There's an awful lot of marble and the furniture and everything else is very, very classic as well. That sort of feel. It's
so you've got
classic.
these kind of this big lobby area. The marble makes it look very kind of grand, which it is. So it's just a beautiful way to arrive into India, into a city hotel, or at the end of your trip. Just in terms of the restaurants, just usually a huge variety of different kinds of cuisines. So even at the end of a trip, let's say you've had so much Indian food and you don't want to continue to have any more Indian food, then there's lots of other cuisines. If you are still, wanting your fix of Indian food, we've got some fabulous restaurants that serve authentic Indian food as well.
Yeah, love that. It was interesting actually. I noticed when I was in the Chinese restaurant in the other Taj, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere. But the Chinese food is, they always sort of say that when you're in the UK, Chinese food, it's not real Chinese food like you would have in China. It's an anglicized version. What I love in India is it's an Indian version of Chinese food. It's a little bit more spicy, which for me was
Chinese,
absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. That was for me. Oh God, tremendous. But it's like I was saying to Anil, the guide, earlier on this week, how we were just saying how it's very rare that people lose weight when they go to India for a trip. You always put on weight, right?
Do you know what? I always say that to people. I mean, everyone's got this notion of, perhaps, you're falling ill or getting Delhi belly. And honestly, it's
forget it.
The opposite now. The food is of such a high standard. The hotels are of such a high standard that actually you do definitely put on weight.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting actually. I was saying the same to my wife. She was sort of saying, "Oh, the thing about India is the food okay?" I'm like, "Oh my God, the food is the best part. The food is absolutely amazing. Your taste buds come alive when you get to India."
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about this. We've got a photo here of what looks like a train.
It is, yes. So very much a train. It's a restaurant. It's the Orient Express. So very, very, very much your Orient Express service that you would get on the original train. It's a restaurant that comes complete with, the carriages, the tables are loaded with crystal, and actually look exactly like the Orient Express, and the service impeccable like, the train. So it's a really great experience and a really kind of different, unique restaurant that we have here at Taj Palace.
I love that. I bet that's booked out all of the time. Would you need to book in advance, would you say, if
You
people were
would
going?
need to book in advance, just so that you've got, yourself a reservation. But just so classy when you're sitting there, you feel like you're on the Orient Express in Venice. So yeah, really amazing.
Absolutely lovely. Love that. Got a couple of photos of the rooms, obviously,
Yeah.
as you would expect, very sort of classic looking rooms that you have.
So
Over,
really lovely, subtle colours, big windows. You can see just how lush actually and green Delhi is. And I don't think that people realise just how green it is.
yeah.
So that's really nice, just to kind of, have this beautiful view out of your windows. But yeah, really big rooms, huge beds, as you can see, good sized bathrooms, and just beautifully decorated in such, lovely kind of light colours.
Yeah.
Just again, you can see that all the kind of the fixtures and fittings are, very much part of a 5-star hotel, but just so, just so beautifully done.
Yeah, everything is wonderful. So that was the Taj Palace in Delhi. On our tour, then we go to Agra, and the property that we stay in here is the Taj Hotel and Convention Centre in Agra. Tell us a little bit about this property here.
So the Taj in Agra is a stunning hotel, and when we talk about our hotels, not just here but everywhere, it's all about location. We are in the best locations everywhere, and this particular property is actually a 10-minute walk away from the Taj Mahal itself.
Wow.
So in terms of location, you really can't beat it. You can see in this picture here, just from the pool, you've got views in the distance of the Taj Mahal. So can you imagine just having a little swim, having a sunbathe, and just seeing the Taj Mahal in the distance? I mean, you just can't beat that. So it's a really lovely hotel that's not too far from the airport and about 10 minutes from the station. So you can actually arrive from Delhi to Agra either by flight or by train. A really easy train gets into Agra in about 2 hours, and from the station, like I said, only 10 minutes as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, you forget how close it is to Delhi, actually, as well, Agra. It's not. It's really not that far, is it?
No, not at all. So, even if you came here, a night stay, a 2-night stay, you've got this really fabulous hotel. Like I said, great location. It's got some great food and beverage outlets here as well. So you don't even have to step out of the hotel to eat if you don't want to. You've got this great kind of rooftop lounge, which is really fabulous in terms of having a few cocktails, having a bit of live music, and from there seeing views of the Taj Mahal as well.
Yeah, it could be great for a couple of sundowners on there. I could just imagine that.
Yeah.
Once this is all over, Minaxi, we'll be heading over there and we'll have a few sundowners. We'll do a live show. We'll do a live show from the Taj in
a heartbeat. I'm all over
that. Tremendous. And this is obviously the rooms, again, classic looking rooms.
So you can see that, some of the rooms, not all of the rooms, but, a few of the rooms have views of the Taj Mahal. It depends on where you are in the hotel. But honestly, this one, it's all about the location. I mean, generally, guests will be going to see the Taj Mahal and having a guide and doing the full day's trip. But once you're back, and if you've got a bit of spare time and you fancy just taking a walk back to the Taj Mahal, it's right there on the doorstep.
Yeah, you can do it in your own time. Lovely.
So again, really good sized rooms. But just going back to the F&B, really kind of, a number of different restaurants, but a fabulous Mughal restaurant, with Indian food. And honestly, you just can't go to Agra and not have a Mughal meal. So this is the kind of setup that you'd get, in beautiful kind of dinnerware. The ambience of the hotel is stunning, and just the decor, everything, just transports you back to a different era.
Absolutely love that. It's making me hungry, actually, just looking.
Oh, we're just talking about how can you not put on weight with all that?
I know. Shocking. Now, the Rambar Palace in Jaipur, that's where we're staying in Jaipur. Probably the finest hotel in, well, it's certainly the finest hotel in Jaipur, but it's probably one of
Definitely.
the finest hotels in the whole of India, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Just
Jed,
looks
you know what?
incredible.
Rambagh Palace is just so special. It's one of our authentic palaces, and by authentic, I mean that this was actually a palace that was the a former royal residence of royal family in Jaipur. So really stunning. I mean, sprawled across 47 acres, beautiful manicured gardens. As soon as you kind of arrive into the city and get to arrive at Rambagh Palace, you've arrived at this, I mean, fabulous, authentic palace. The arrival's amazing. If you've never, ever been treated like royalty, and I always say this, as soon as you step foot in one of our palaces, you will be treated like royalty.
For
Um,
sure.
so, you've got these beautiful grounds, you've got, indoor, outdoor pools, you've got lots of kind of facilities within the hotel. I mean, all the staff are beautifully, beautifully dressed. They are just amazing, the staff, I have to say,
Yeah.
not just here at all of the palaces. You get the top of the top staff, dressed in these beautiful uniforms. You've got these beautiful peacocks that come and visit every day. You can feed the
Oh, lovely.
peacocks. Honestly, I can't stress enough how amazing our grand palaces are.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the palace rooms. Now these are rooms that we have actually for our tour as well, and
Yeah.
where our guests will be staying. I mean, that is a palace room.
So
It
you can
just looks
see that the
incredible.
size of the rooms are just amazing, like really, really good size rooms. You've got some beautiful fixtures and fittings in the rooms, some sort of antique paintings as well, that go back to the kind of, era of the royal family staying. But just the rooms itself, I mean, they're just so palatial. They blow your mind when you walk in.
Yeah, I was just blown when I just saw that picture. To be honest, just incredible. This is, I mean, this again, you can just picture yourself being sat here for, well, it looks like it's set up for afternoon tea, just down there. I think I can see some sort of jam there. It's just waiting for
Yeah.
scones or something.
Mhm.
Looks very, very old time, kind of old world, traditional, colonial kind of style almost.
Yes, definitely. That's what all of our palaces are all about. And you know what? I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite shots,
Yeah,
simply because it really does give a great impression of what the palace is all about. Um, when you're staying at these palaces, what's so lovely is the fact that they're not stuffy. You don't feel out of place. You don't feel that, oh gosh, this is way too grand and opulent for me. It is a palace that's been transformed into this beautiful hotel. The staff are amazing, all smiling, all ready to greet you. Whether you are a family with little children, or whether you're an elderly couple or just on honeymoon, I think the palace is just the perfect place to stay.
I think that's a really good point that you're making there, Minaxi, as well, because in the past I've stayed at a few very nice hotels in the past, and there are some where I have almost felt uncomfortable. They would be up a 5 star, but I've almost felt uncomfortable, like you were saying about the stuffiness. I've never felt
Mm.
that, to be fair. I've never felt that in Taj properties, and I think a huge amount of that is again, you've mentioned it a few times, down to the staff. They make you
Yeah,
just feel so at ease and
yeah,
comfortable and at home, like you belong. And I think, because I think that's a fear that some people do have. When you're staying in these properties,
yeah,
will it be stuffy? Will I be able to really relax? And I think
that's right.
you certainly would be able to relax here.
Yeah. Like if you're bringing your families and you've got a little 4-year-old that's screaming, perhaps, you don't feel uncomfortable, like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, like people have paid a lot of money to be here. So,
yeah,
my child really shouldn't be screaming out. All the staff are happy to help and take over and play. And, like it's just amazing. But just sitting here having high tea, you can't beat that view as well. You've got the city of Jaipur and all the hustle and bustle outside the gates. And here you are in this beautiful palace, just enjoying life to the max.
oh, it's incredible, and it looks pretty good at night time too.
Yeah. So when you're out and about, let's say visiting the sites of Jaipur, and then you've come back and you've gone to shower and change, as soon as you walk out of your room of an evening to go to dinner, the palace has actually been transformed into this kind of magical setting with beautiful fresh flowers. I mean, these flowers and the lights, the diyas are done every single day. You've got private dining facilities, a table for two, maybe inside on the lawns, perhaps. It's just so beautiful. I mean, and everything's done so beautifully and with such class and elegance.
No, it really is. That just looks just incredible. And I don't know what the flowers are that they use, but I know in some of the Taj I've stayed before, really fragrant as well. You really smell the flowers as you're walking along as well.
Absolutely. Whether it be the jasmine or sandalwood or whatever smell. This is a smell that you kind of carry along as you're walking, and it's a smell that often doesn't leave you, because you just, oh gosh, that's such a beautiful smell, I love it. And a lot of people comment on the smell.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go from one iconic hotel to another property which is absolutely iconic. Tell us a little bit about the Taj Lake Palace and a little bit of its sort of story, I suppose, for anybody that hasn't heard of the Taj Lake Palace, because it is an absolutely iconic property, this one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, totally iconic. And I have to say, just that picture alone sells it for everybody. It's a beautiful palace made of marble, dates back to the 1700s. It was built as a summer palace for the royal family back in the day. A beautiful summer palace. So here, as you arrive, so you arrive into the city of Udaipur, and you basically arrive at City Palace, and you come across to the Lake Palace by boat. Right. As soon as you arrive, it's just one of those surreal moments that's just so beautiful, and such a special moment for anybody that's staying with us here. You might recognize this particular property as, if there's a James Bond fan around, as the property where Octopussy was filmed. Yeah. Here. So a lot of people recognize it for that. But yeah, I mean, really, just in Udaipur, it is the most iconic property that that there is there.
For sure. And of course, every view has a view of the water. Every room.
Yeah. So wherever you are, whether you're in the restaurant, whether you're in the bedrooms or the kind of lobby area, you've got these beautiful views of the lake around you. So it's situated in Lake Pichola, and all of the other hotels, we're the only one in the middle of the lake. All the others are actually on the periphery. So you can actually see the other hotels and the buildings around, but very lucky to be the only one in the middle of the lake.
Absolutely lovely. And the palace rooms are the ones which our guests will be staying in, which are absolutely sumptuous.
So again, really authentic and really traditional. All the beautiful fixtures and fittings in the rooms as well. But you only have to just kind of glance out of the window and you realize that you're actually in a palace in the middle of the lake.
Well, so does it almost feel like being on a boat almost, because it's just water everywhere?
Or that cruise feeling when you look at the kind of cabins and you see the water all around. Yeah, you've certainly got that. Yeah. But basically, it's just a stunning. I mean, you just can't get enough of it. It's one of those that you just want to walk around, want to see everything, and it's just so beautiful. You've got this beautiful water. You've got the Udaipur in the distance, and as soon as you're sitting here, you just can't take it in. It's just so amazing.
Oh, it's just fabulous. Again, I can just I can picture myself enjoying a few sundowners out there. I was going to call it the deck then. That's just fabulous.
A beautiful boat ride, just sitting here having a few drinks before dinner. I mean, you can't beat it.
I should point out as well that we've taken a selection of photos here, and Minaxi, you very kindly shared the full database of the photos which Taj have for these properties. It was really challenging just to narrow it down, because there are so many fabulous photos that really, when you go through them all, you really get the picture of what it's like to be in that hotel, whether it be the sort of the courtyards or everything else. And it's the same with all of the properties. And I would urge everybody to go on the tajhotels.com website, just have a look at all of the fabulous photographs as well as learn more about the properties.
And just that, I was just going to say that little boat on that picture there is actually our spa. So you actually Yeah, so you go and have your spa treatments on a little boat like that. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
really amazing. Just everything about the palace is just so fabulous, and
Yeah.
so grand, but just in a beautifully classy way. Like I said, you don't feel uncomfortable. It's just an amazing experience. We want you to walk away just with lifelong memories.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm absolutely sure there would be. Our final stop on the tour is the Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai.
Yeah.
Again, I've not stayed in this one. So I think you've got a few properties in Mumbai, have you?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Um,
have a number of properties in the city of Mumbai, about 5. But this one is probably the most iconic. It's our flagship property. It's the Taj Mahal Palace, together with the tower wing that you see there as well.
yeah.
It is located in South Mumbai, opposite the Gateway of India. Now, the Gateway of India is a monument that you would be visiting if you're in Mumbai anyway.
Yep.
But just this building alone is just the most iconic. Anyone that's comes to Mumbai will always stay at the Taj Mahal Palace. Recently, it was trademarked, so we are very, very fortunate for this building to actually be trademarked, like a few of the other iconic.
Yeah.
Am I thinking of other iconic, buildings?
Yeah.
This building has been trademarked.
Wow. Again, the insides just look absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
So
you've got
that's
this
the
beautiful, huge lobby
yeah,
here, so you have a lot of people coming just to visit the hotel because it is such an
really
iconic building. You have lots of people passing through Mumbai, coming in, maybe possibly having a drink or looking around. So it's this big lobby area. But again, as soon as you walk in, the staff are there. They're there to greet you with a warm smile. Seamless check-in, and off you go, either to the palace wing or to the tower wing. So either or, you are staying at the Taj Mahal Palace. So it doesn't matter which kind of wing you're staying in, you're still staying at the Taj Mahal Palace.
very good. And again, the rooms,
So you
as always, absolutely sumptuous.
Yeah, I mean, you can see beautiful, rich colors, lovely fixtures and fittings. The furnishings are just so beautiful. It's one of those kind of wow factors as soon as you walk into any room, and all of the rooms in the palace wing are actually all decorated differently. So, you could stay on a number of occasions and have a different room. This is actually one of our newly refurbished rooms in the tower wing. So
Okay.
again, you can see that they're also absolutely stunning, really good size, and beautiful views of the Gateway of India.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And of course the lawn areas as well, again overlooking the Gateway of India. Just fabulous, isn't it?
Lovely, lovely place to just kind of sit and have a drink in the afternoon, watching the sun go down. You've got the Gateway of India, you've got the hustle and bustle of Mumbai outside, and then just to look at the building itself. I mean, I can never get enough of the building,
Yeah.
and pictures of different angles of this building.
Minaxi, when I look at this picture and I see the sort of the lawn area there, and with a lot of the Taj properties, they have these beautiful lawns, which are, as you mentioned before, perfectly manicured with all of the
Mhm.
flowers and the plants. And in the one of the Tajes that I was in, they had which they were quite famous, the brunches, and it was where they would bring out all of the cooking stations outside, and
Yep.
they would have these brunches outside, which were really it was quite an antiquated affair. It was absolutely wonderful. It was so utterly charming, but people would come from far and wide to
Yeah.
have this this brunch experience, which would have live music and it would have live cooking stations, and it felt like a real sort of almost like a socialite kind of a
Yeah,
gathering. Do,
definitely.
do all of the Taj
Definitely.
properties do that?
A lot of them do, yes. So we've
Yeah,
got obviously a lot of space to have, these big functions, whether it be a brunch or whether it be a social gathering, or a wedding.
yeah,
You've got the space for a big fat Indian wedding,
yeah,
and certainly with the weather, it can happen outside. So yeah, I
yeah.
mean, what better place to have it on the lawns of somewhere like the Taj Mahal Palace? And you've got you've got views of the gateway or the hotel itself. Just stunning.
Absolutely wonderful. Um, And as we now approach the end of this sort of short journey, wanted to highlight as well, Minaxi, this, Taj Hotels, obviously utterly iconic in India, with a large number. How many properties then in India are we talking about?
So it's ever on the increase, but we've got about over 200 properties.
Wow.
In India alone, and then obviously not just in India, outside of India as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
in the neighboring countries of Nepal and Sri Lanka and Bhutan, a couple in the Maldives, and then obviously in South Africa and Dubai, USA, Zambia, and Malaysia too. So not just, I mean, a lot of people think of us as just an Indian brand in India, but we are actually, obviously we've got hotels globally as well, and obviously in the UK we've got two.
Of course, in the UK, you've got two properties in London.
Yes, two in London, next door to each other, very close to Buckingham Palace on Buckingham Gate. But again, absolutely stunning hotels.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And if anybody would like to find out more about the Taj properties that we've got, obviously they're all featured on lowseasontraveler.com for the ones which we feature on the tour. But then if you'd like to look at some of the other properties, have a look at the London properties, for example. Then of course everyone can visit tajhotels.com. And I would recommend everyone as well, if anybody out there that sort of follows on YouTube, if you go on the Taj Hotels channel on YouTube, there's a fantastic video there, which is all about the notion of Tajness, and how things have changed but remained the same, given the situation in 2020 and all of the extra protocols which have been taken in light of COVID. And it's really, really well done video, actually, I must say. I saw that yesterday, and I thought it was very good. But that's sadly all we've got time for, Minaxi. It's flown over, hasn't it? It was quite quick in the end.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk through your wonderful properties with us. It's been absolutely fascinating, and I think the end result of all this is that we just wanted to show people that really, there's doing the Golden Triangle tour, but also the accommodation that you choose to stay in is a huge part of your Indian experience, especially if you're going for the first time and it's that big bucket list item. And there are no finer properties in India for a tour like this than Taj Hotels. So thank you so much, Minaxi, for your time and for taking us through it.
Thank you, Jed.
And hopefully we can do this again sometime, with some
Thank you
of your
very
other
much.
properties. Oh, thank you so much.
Lovely.
Have a lovely rest of the day, and
you.
speak to you again soon, Minaxi. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, and thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.